Today, we are focusing on 5 health anxiety truths. These truths are what you need to hear right now, my friends, in order for you to feel less lonely and feel like you're no longer living in a health anxiety bubble all by yourself. Let's dive in. Welcome to another important video on my channel, my friends. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do. Hit the bell for all the notifications for my upcoming videos. And if you want to learn more about the Health Anxiety Recovery Program, click here at any point in the video. Now, today we're talking about health anxiety truths, right? Because with health anxiety, as I kind of mentioned, it feels like after some time you're just living in your own world, right? Nobody really understands you, and you can't seem to figure out a way out of health anxiety. Towards the end of this video, I'm going to give you 2 very important keys that you must focus on and pay attention to in order to promote health anxiety healing and recovery. But first, let's focus on these health anxiety facts, these truths. I want you to comment below when you hear a truth and you go, oh my gosh, that is true about what I do in relation to health anxiety. The first truth is that health anxiety is Googling your symptoms at 2 a.m. and feeling worse than before you searched, right? So let's unpack this a little bit. The inner protector, 2 in the morning, says, oh, right, there's something in here that I need you to pay close attention to, and I need you to mentally try to figure this out. So at 2 a.m., for example, you wake up and you go on a search engine or a group or a forum and you look up that particular symptom. Now, you're probably going, oh, right, that as long as I do this, I'm going to feel better, right? Then I can go back to sleep. And often what happens is one particular question mark or what if leads to so many more question marks and what ifs. Next thing you know, you feel like you're mentally spiraling. So can you relate to this health anxiety truth? And if you're currently going through this right now, understand that you are not alone, right? This is a particular pattern and cycle that the inner protector wants you to go through in order for you to stay in a sensitized state. Second health anxiety truth is that health anxiety is checking your pulse, your heart rate, or body sensations multiple times a day to make sure that you are safe, right? As long as I keep checking these things, then I'll stay safe. I'll stay one step ahead of what my body may do or what my mind may say. I want to stay one step ahead. So because you feel this need to always overprotect your body, especially your body, you feel the need to always, check your pulse, your heart rate, and body sensations. And also what we tend to do is we tend to misuse certain gadgets like, like Apple phone watches, for example, Apple watches, or these sort of step counters that allow you to check your heart rate and stuff like that. So we tend to become very obsessed with these gadgets, making us feel like, oh, this is something good for me, when in fact it constantly keeps you focused on what's wrong or could go wrong. And as long as you are always focused on your bodily sensations, you're going to feel a high level of sensitivity, right? You're never giving your body the chance to actually release tension, relax, and send the signal to your body that, hey, in this particular environment, we are safe. We don't need to check this. We don't need to do this right now. So I want you to truly understand this truth, okay? Third one, health anxiety is planning your days around avoiding triggers like exercise, certain foods, or even TV shows because you're afraid they'll make you feel worse. Now, This is important, right? Because there's a certain amount of exposure that we need in order to retrain the brain, right? To say, hey, in these particular situations and environments, we are safe. Therefore, we don't need this exaggerated protective response in the body or the mind. So we need a certain degree of exposure in order to retrain the brain and therefore the body, right? And if we're always planning our days around avoiding everything, then we are stuck in a self-concept that is one that says, I'm so sensitive that if anything goes wrong, anything that goes wrong outside of my checklist, right, then this day will just turn into turmoil, right? That small little snowball will become big automatically. So we don't want to live that way, but we also don't want to live like a bull, right? Placing ourselves into this situation and a huge party and going from one part of the world to the other. We want to feel like we are making progressively we want to feel like we're getting better and feeling more comfortable and safe in certain environments, right? So it's not about planning your days around avoiding triggers. It's about in small doses going through the day with particular safety signals like your breath work, like your posture, and your mindset, focusing on bringing these things with you as you go about those small little exposure steps that you need to retrain your brain. But again, if this is a health anxiety truth for you, comment below. Fourth one is that health anxiety is convincing yourself you'll feel better after just one more search, but ending up stuck in a spiral. Does this sound like you? It's very similar to the first one, right? But now it's an attitude, right? If this symptom goes away, then I can live my life. If I stop doing this one thing, then I can live my life. Not necessarily. This goes hand in hand with information overload, right? I talk about this a lot in my programs and my books, where it's like one more audiobook, one more video, one more of this, one more of that, right? Maybe this is the missing link. Maybe that's the missing link. The missing link is your attitude and your mindset towards the inner protector that is overly protective in situations that it doesn't need to be. So it's about the relationship building with what is at the root of your symptoms, and that is the inner protector, right? As long as you can get to a place where you see these symptoms and the mental approaches from an outsider's perspective saying, this is happening over here, this is coming from my inner protector, this isn't I. This isn't my spiritual side, right? And I am no longer going to fall victim to the mental and the physical sides of the inner protector. As long as you have this approach and continue to practice this mindset every day, then you will run into the to-do, right? What do I do in that moment? And often you're going to feel like you can safely leave things alone. Even if they get worse or get better, it doesn't matter anymore. But again, can you relate to this health anxiety truth? If you can, comment below. And the fifth health anxiety truth is that health anxiety is feeling relief after a test result, only to doubt the accuracy the next day, right? So you feel this, okay, I'm glad that's over, right? I no longer have to pay so much attention to this symptom because I know exactly what this is now. And then the next day, you feel the symptom still there, or you run into a story from somebody else, right? And you're going, did the doctor miss something? Did they miss something on that test? Maybe I need another test. Maybe I need to speak to someone about this. Maybe I need to overly focus on whether the symptom gets stronger or not. Maybe I need to take advice from my protector mental side in order for me to truly be free of this. So again, one thing happens the next day and you start questioning all the things that happened the day before. So the tension starts to rise, you start to question the health of your body, and now you're going down the spiral again, okay? If you can relate to this health anxiety truth, comment below. Now, I promised you some keys, okay, some keys, and I mentioned kind of in snippets in this video some of the keys already, but there are two very important ones that I want you to focus on, okay? The first one is getting to a point where you are responding differently to fear, right? It doesn't matter how, really. It doesn't matter how you're responding to fear, but as long as you are responding to fear in a way that's different than what tends to promote more fear, then you're on the right track. Sometimes you can respond to fear, in a very sturdy and strong manner, right? In an emotional way, like, no, this is not happening anymore. Here's where my focus is going. You can respond to fear in a compassionate way, saying, oh, the inner protector, I know you're trying to protect me right now, but I don't really need it, right? And this is this is not justified for this particular experience. Thank you, but my focus is going to go here instead, right? Another way to respond to fear is just to realize that it's vigilance, and go, oh, that's hypervigilance, I can leave that alone, right? So it's a feeling of surrendering a lot of the times. It's surrendering to the unknown rather than searching for the known, right? It's no longer looking for certainty based around a symptom and looking for an immediate answer to it, but rather getting comfortable with the idea that you can leave these symptoms alone and you can leave these thoughts alone, right? So you want to get to a place where you're living that way. This isn't something that you do as an exercise. This is your life, right? The second key is to let go of the identity of the sick one and step into a new self-concept, right? Because unconsciously with health anxiety, you feel like you're always sick to some degree or going to get sick. But you need to step out of this self-concept slowly, not overnight, but slowly, and into a new self-concept. A concept that says, I trust. Like, trust can be one of those leading parts of your new self-concept. I trust that I can leave this alone. I trust that I can move forward. I trust that even though stepping away from my anxiety identity feels very uncertain and there's a lot of unknowns that come with it, I am trusting and safe in this new feeling of letting things go and letting them be. So you want to step out of that. When you look in the mirror, you don't want to see someone who is sick anymore. You want to see someone who trusts in what they're going through, and also understand that what you're going through is leading you towards lessons that you will never have learned in any other way. There has to be some kind of a purpose behind your health anxiety recovery, because when there's a purpose, you can go, okay, I'm doing this or I'm learning this because of that particular reason. And a lot of the times that reason is to shine a brighter, high vibration light into the world, to give other people permission to look at their own fears differently and give them the permission to move forward towards the unknown with trust and faith as well, right? So a lot of the times this is what's really going on at a deeper level than the mental level, okay? So I need you guys to understand that. So comment below. I'd love to learn about where you are in your particular health anxiety healing. I also want to know who's really committed. Did you watch this video until the end? If so, let me know. And if you want to learn more again about my health anxiety recovery program, 12 Weeks to Healing starts with me today, click here. Remember that you are more than anxiety, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, my friends.